Looking up at the night sky, it is easy to feel small. To the unobserved eye, the universe appears as a turbulent, dark nebula of chaotic forces. For ancient scholars, finding order in this expanse was not just a philosophical exercise, it was a necessity. They believed that the universe followed a predictable blueprint, a map that could explain everything from the birth of a star to the end of a human life. Tradition holds that Lord Shiva granted the sage Sage Vyasa the vision to compile this knowledge. The result was a collection of 18 texts, known as the Mahapurans. This visual guide to those texts was collected, created, and is presented by Pawan Thakur of Thakur Property Consultancy. Today, we open this ancient library to sequence its texts and look at the internal logic that connects them. These texts are not random collections of stories. To be categorized as a Mahapuran, a work must follow a 5-part structural framework. The Brahma Purana defines this 5-part structure as the Pancha Lakshana. Sarga and Pratisarga deal with the mechanics of creation and its repeating cycles. The final 3 address history. Vamsha tracks divine lineages, Manvantara maps cosmic time, and Vamsanucharita records royal dynasties. Because of this structure, the Mahapurans act as systematic records, linking the origin of the cosmos directly to the history of human civilizations. To understand the scope of this work, we have to look at how all 18 texts are sequenced. One of the first in the sequence is the Padma Purana. Its primary role was taking complex Sanskrit concepts and adapting them into narratives that focused on the life and ethics of Lord Rama, making these ideas accessible to the general public. Next is the Varaha Purana. This text is categorized as sattvic, a term used to describe works that emphasize clarity, light, and ethical living. On this page of the Varaha Purana, we see an account of the sage Narad encountering a maiden. The text explains that she is the literal embodiment of the Vedas and Shastras, appearing in a form the human mind can interact with. These texts work by translating abstract divine authority into forms that fit within the human experience. Moving deeper into the library, the Brahma Purana describes the Samudra Bantan, or the churning of the ocean. It details how Lord Vishnu took the form of a tortoise to support the world during this massive transformation. In this section, the text links the appearance of goddess Lakshmi to the manifestation of Maya. It describes how this force of illusion shapes the way we perceive the world. The Linga Purana approaches the origin of the universe through the Hiranyarbha, or the golden egg. This page describes that egg floating in the primordial waters for thousands of years before splitting to create the realms of existence. The text also provides a phonetic breakdown of the syllable Om. It explains how the sounds akar, ukar, and makar correspond to the divine trinity of Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. These allegories provide a conceptual framework for how matter and consciousness first emerged from a state of nothingness. Other texts focus on order and consequences. The Narada Purana describes Yamraj, the Lord of Justice, as a figure with 32 arms who enforces specific punishments for those who violate cosmic law. While the text describes these consequences in detail, it also highlights that devotion to Lord Vishnu is the primary path to liberation from this cycle. The Brahma Vaivarta Purana maps the geography of the higher realms. This page explicitly places Goloka, the realm of Krishna, at the top of the hierarchy, beyond both Vaikuntha and Shiva Loka. Finally, the Shiva Purana documents the Jyotirlingas across India, mapping the physical points on earth where devotion to Mahadev is believed to be most potent. By documenting the consequences of action and the scale of the higher realms, these texts encourage the human soul toward a life of devotion. This diversity often leads to a question: why does the Linga Purana elevate Shiva, while the Varaha Purana focuses on Vishnu, and the Brahma Vaivarta on Krishna? The texts explain this through the 3 gunas, sattva, rajas, and tamas. These are psychological lenses. Each Purana is written to reach a different type of mind, but they all point toward the same central light. Whether they are mapping the terrifying courts of Yamraj or the phonetic vibrations of Om, the 18 Mahapurans form a single, unified system for navigating existence. Every text in this library shares the same goal: moksha, or liberation from the cycle of birth and death. In the end, these texts are a map for that journey, collected, created, and presented by Pawan Papkar, Talker Property Consultancy, 900